were all kids. They were all kids from 5. I don't know what the ages were. It was one of the most horrible things I ever seen in the newspaper. They showed the funeral.
Okay.
On Easter Sunday, they showed the inside of the Daily News was a picture of the funeral parlor. It was just caskets. It was like a small war.
Yeah.
And at the time, they had blamed it on the Colombians, that the family had owed Colombians some money or some shit like that. But, life went on. I forgot all about it. And yesterday morning, I get up in Grand Rapids, and I'm looking at the computer in the morning. I'm drinking coffee. And there's an article about the 30th anniversary of this massacre, how in all the blood and all the kids and all the parents that were there, they found a baby that was 13 months old that was walking around in the blood.
Oh, jeez.
And the cop picked the baby up, took it to the station. She had to give her up to some emergency family that night. And then she followed that child all along to check on the child. A fucking great story. I never knew this, and it just shows you that I was very lucky, and this girl was very lucky, and this cop kept touching base with her, and then when her grandmother died, the cop adopted her.
Oh.
And now the girl's 31 years old, and this cop and her husband adopted her, and what happened through her life, all the changes she went through, how she wanted to find out who her mother was. Her mother was 20 when she got killed, But in the pictures, they said that the mother died with a spoon in her hand, and like baby food or some shit, so she always wanted to investigate who was she going to feed, it was that little baby, it was 13 months old. Fucking, if you could find it, it's in the New York Times yesterday, 30-year anniversary of the Palm Sunday Massacre. It's fucking touching, who the fuck would have known there would have been a silver lining to 10 people dying, 10 people dying, there's no silver lining, but it really, it goes to show you that there always is a silver lining, man. You always...
You think so? Because so this is the question I had, because it's been a year since the Boston one, and they keep playing videos about it, and I'm like, I guess there has to be, right? You overcome through pain, but for stuff like that, like sometimes I get negative about it. Like I'm thinking, like why are they trying to, why do they need to write a newspaper article about it? Like,
well, it's the year, it's the year, and then number 2, they're doing a show. Have you seen the show? It's very interesting.
What show?
It's on Discovery. How they caught the kids and the detective getting interviewed. I saw it a couple weeks ago, and I think now they're making a series of it on Discovery or Nat Geo, one of those.
Okay.
And what they showed was from the beginning. What happened? The bomb went off, how they took the kids. They knew they were working against the clock, how they took the cameras and they looked at people who didn't react to the explosion. And they saw that after he went down, he didn't react to the explosion, so they narrowed it down to him. It's very interesting.
Okay.
Listen, man. Right now, a year later, you're not going to hear a silver lining story.
Okay.
Or maybe you are. I don't know. Maybe a guy picked a woman up and, she got a hand blown off. He took her to the hospital, ended up falling in love and having children. We don't know. We don't know if there's a silver lining to this. But I'll tell you what, look, when my mother died, I got to find out the gift of friendship. The people who took me in and were great to me. When I went to prison, I got to find out about the gift of fucking comedy. When I kidnapped Kent Vela, that morning, I got to find out what I wanted to do with my life, what I could do, and what I didn't want to do with my life. There's always something, Lee. Today, if you go home right now and so God forbid something happens and you call me and go, Joe, I got to go back to Boston, I'll call you when I come back. And a year from now, you call me and you go, Joe, I didn't have the strength or whatever. This is what I learned out of this bad position I was in. There's always a silver lining. You're not going to see it that moment. You're not going to see it when you're sitting there at the wake. You're not going to see it when you're sitting at the hospital. You're not going to see it when you're laying in the hospital. But you have to believe. Without belief, man, you have nothing. Nothing. I had nothing. But I always knew that if I could make it one more fucking day, if I go to sleep tomorrow, man, tomorrow I might get the fucking job of my dreams. Tomorrow I might hit the lottery. Tomorrow I might find a woman. It's so much belief. People base this shit on everything. It's just believing in your heart.
It's hard to do that sometimes too, like especially day to day. Like you're saying 30 years later. I can't imagine what that girl... When she was, like, you know exactly what she was going through.
I know exactly.
When she was 8.
I know exactly what she was going through, and they didn't want to tell her.
Oh, they didn't tell her that she was part of that?
No, I forget. You have to read the article. They told her that they told her something else, then she found out, and then she investigated. Because, you know, as a natural, you want to know what your mother died of and your dad and
Yeah, of course.
what happened. So, what's the matter, Lee? You choking up over there? We haven't even eaten the whole thing.
I'm already feeling it, but it's all right. I'm good.
You got to eat another one. It's only 5 milligrams.
Nothing's wrong. No. But I think it's interesting because it's always I don't know what the term is, but it's when you're going through something, it seems like it seems like nothing good, and it seems like it's day to day. But even looking back a year ago or 6 months, you do see movement through it. But it's I guess now it's hard to not be cynical about a lot of things. So I guess it's good to find the good things that happen.
You have to, because if you sit there and look at the negative, you'll die in fucking sorrow. You'll die. You'll fucking die. It just makes no sense to you. You know, it's. I'm telling you, I could sit here. The book I'm writing right now about the biography is about the bad things that happened to me, or the bad things that I created that happened to me, that I was part of creating. I'm not going to sit here, bad things happened to me. No. And what the lesson was, I learned from them.
Okay.
You know, I went to blows with my uncle, who was on the podcast. That uncle, 30 fucking years ago, you know, in 1984, I went to blows with him on fucking Vermont Avenue. The uncle that was sitting in that fucking chair 4 weeks ago. You know, we cursed at each other. We were going to fucking kill each other. I remember being in prison and prank calling them and telling them in Spanish, I'm going to fucking kill you. Te voy a matar, hijo de puta. I was fucking livid at him. But that day, he gave me a message. You know, he told me that the world didn't know me shit. I didn't want to hear it at that age. Finally, when I was in a cell 4 years later, I understood what the fuck he was talking about.
Okay.
I understood what the fuck he was talking about. You know, some of you guys watch or listen to this show and you think that fucking Joey's an asshole or whatever, or you are young enough, you have parents, you have moms and dads, you have a father who's went to college, who's educated, and you don't give a fuck what comes out of his words. You'll listen to a guy like me before you listen to your educated dad who came from a decent family and whatever. Mm-hmm. It's really weird that the people that we pay attention to in our lives, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, our parents are our heroes, but sometimes they're fucking fuddy-duddies. You know, why won't you let me go to the concert in Vegas? You know, my friends are going. They're telling you, you're going to go and you get elbowed with chicks. You don't want to go there. You're going to waste your time. Give the chick $50, stay at home, snort some coke, and get some chick to come over and lick your asshole. You get the same fucking result. But it's just amazing how people, you know, I don't even know what the fuck I'm talking about. This fucking edible already killed me. I don't even know. I was smoking vapors this morning.
I knew you were, because you were looking at that and the camera's pointed at me and you're like looking at the camera and it's not even there.
I don't even fucking know what I'm looking at anymore. I don't even know what the fuck the cameras are in this room. This thing's turned around and satellites and shit. And I got fucking Clint Eastwood looking at me. I got a lot of people bothering me. But it's just amazing the things that we'll pay attention to and the people that will pay attention to the people that we listen to.
Yeah.